Hey y'all, Duster Dan here. Got a new detecting video that I wanted to do a little bit of an intro on before the video and give you a little background on how it came to be. Had a friend I had done some work for. He had a son who attended a church. That church was having some problems, just about ready to close its doors. And they got a new pastor, and God really blessed his efforts, and now that church is thriving and growing. And so they opted to do some upgrades, and my friend's son attends that church now, and so he asked if I'd come out and give them an estimate to replace some doors that were badly in need of replacement. So I said sure. It's about 45 minutes away from where I live and a little outside of my area, but because he was the son of a friend of mine who I had already done some work for locally, I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this anyway. So anyways, I started working for them, and it took several weeks, removing the old doors, replacing the new, swapping all the hardware over, making modifications to the new doors to get everything to work perfectly, and well, not perfectly, but to work well. And during the process, I got to know the new pastor, and we were chatting about the history of the church and the building and the grounds, and you know, being a detectorist, that should end up in the bloopers reel. Anyway, being a detectorist, I'm fascinated by history. I love history, I love the hobby, and I love learning. So anyways, I started asking him questions, and come to find out that the church, it was established in 1843. And that really intrigued me because it didn't look that old, right? And you'll see in the videos, it doesn't look that old, but who am I to judge, right? So anyways, as we got to talking, I realized that the property had been developed for quite a long time. And I mentioned to him just off the cuff that I'd give my right arm to metal detect the property. And he said, yeah, man, that sounds great. And so to close the deal, I went ahead and asked him outright if I could, you know, and I got direct permission from him, and he said, yeah, man, anywhere, anytime. You can even come back if you know, now's not a good time. I said, I'll tell you what, being a conscientious person, let me get my work done every day first, and keep my priorities straight, and if I have time, I'll take out my detector and metal detect the property. He said, man, feel free, anywhere you want. So I did that, and I got my work done, and the first day out, I detected the front walkway, as you'll see, and the front approach to the existing sanctuary. And I found a nice 10-karat gold ring, gold wedding band. It's fairly thick, ended up being a ladies' band. It's initialed from both the husband and the wife, and it's dated. It's got their marital date inside there. So I'm working with the pastor to see if we can find anybody in the past roll calls or current whose initials would match that, so we can get it back to the rightful owner. Also, it doesn't matter to me. I'd be willing to get it back to the descendants of the rightful owner if the owner has passed on or long gone. So it was about 3 inches deep, and so it's been down there for a while, and so they're looking through past rolls. There's nobody on the attendant rolls now whose initials match it. So I may end up getting to keep it, but if I do, I'll go ahead and honor the church and display it properly. I document all my finds and whatnot because I love history, and you know, I want to honor that. But yeah, they're looking. I'm trying to get it back to the rightful owner because that's the right thing to do. especially considering they gave me permission to do this. Along with that ring, I found a couple of wheat pennies, and I found an 1864 British Farthing as well. And I was just really stoked to have those as well. But when I found the ring, everything, the world just seemed to stop turning. You guys know, if you found silver or gold, when it comes out of the ground, you can tell it's not flaking, it's not rusting, it's not corroded, and it's very surreal. And so everything just stopped. I had my daughter with me at the time, and I said, "Do you see what that is?" And, you know, I got real animated because I was so excited. And so, but I neglected to record it. And I apologize for that. I did not do a live dig on it. I didn't even take pictures until later. So anyways, the first day out on this hunt, I did not record anything. So what you'll be seeing in the video is the second time I went out, the third time, and the fourth time, I believe. There are like 4 days or maybe 5 days that I'm jamming all into one video here. So anyways, without any further ado, I just wanted to give you a little background on the video. Apologize for the amateur camera work, and apologize for not doing a live dig or at the time, you know, pictures or video of the ring and the farthing. But the rest of it's pretty cool as well. So I hope you enjoy the video. And without any further ado, let's get on to the video and the second day out detecting. Well, y'all, it's been a while since I've done a detecting video. So here I am out at a new permission at an old church established in 1843. And I neglected to do any live digs or even after the fact video of my finds yesterday. Sorry about that, my pinpointer's getting wacky. Anyway, I found a nice piece of jewelry yesterday, and I just couldn't wait anymore, and being a more neglectful after finding my second ring on this site. Yesterday I found a 1864 British Farthing here, and the rest were mostly just clad coins, a couple of wheats, a 34 and a 44. But I found a 10-karat gold ring, and it's dated and initialed, and I'm trying to get it back to the owner. But I think it's too old. It was 3 or 4 inches deep, and I don't think any of the people are here attending the church at this time. But the pastor's going through the rolls, and we're trying to find the owner. So, but anyways, here is a what looks to be a kid's ring. It rung up pretty good, not great, but good, in the mid-70s, 76, 77. But anyways, this is my second ring. It's probably aluminum, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. I'll show you the rest of the finds from yesterday and today at the roundup to this video. So I will either see you at the next target or at the roundup. All right, here's my next target. It was only like an inch or two down, but you can see it. Pretty boss looking button. Look at that. That thing is awesome. Got some nice detail on it, and it's old. So I'm happy to have that one. It's kind of surprising on this property because I've found some really old stuff, but no silver coinage. Most of the coins here, probably found about 10 to 15 coins today alone, and they're all clad. Some of them are copper pennies, but not even a wheat. And now this. So I'll clean it up and I'll show you at the roundup. I'll show you the gold ring at the roundup too, and the 1864 British Farthing. But for now, on to the next target. Cool, so here's my next good target. Finally, I got another wheat penny. It's about 4 inches down, looks like a 1948. And I couldn't really see the back very good, but when I looked at it, when I rubbed it, I could tell it was not the standard Lincoln Memorial on the back. So having Lincoln on the front and not seeing the memorial on the back, I knew it was a wheat penny. So I went ahead and I took a picture of it and then zoomed in so I could see the date, because my eyes are kind of old. Anyway, that's your next good target. Glad to have it. And so onward and upward. I'm really glad I finally found another old one. So I'll see you at the next target or at the roundup. Oh my goodness, I was just thanking God for a few extra good finds on this side of the walkway. I found the good stuff over there on the other side of the walkway a couple days ago. And now this is my first ever. See what that is? No, it's not tarnished like a regular nickel. And you can see what looks to be a P above Monticello, I think it is. And it came out shiny like this. It's even got some nice toning on the front of it. So that is a Silver War nickel. And it's the first one I've ever found metal detecting. Oh yeah, what does that say, 44? Yeah, it looks like it. So I am super stoked to have that. And yeah, just call me stoked. Anyway, this is definitely the next good target. So hey y'all. Next target is this interesting little brass fitting, 90-degree elbow. No big deal, but it's brass and it's interesting. So there's that. All right, moving on now. All right, here's the last target of the day, I think. Looks like a silver plated, see the toning on it? See the toning? Looks like it was a silver plated button. Hollow on the back. Looks like brass inside there, brass or copper. Pretty cool. So anyways, that's kind of interesting. That was just a couple inches down. And so I think I'm gonna call it a day and we'll move on to the roundup. So Duster Dan out for now, and I'll see y'all at the roundup. Keep swinging. All right, hey y'all. Duster Dan back at it again before the roundup. I got another day out here working on the doors. Unfortunately, it is rainy out today, so I'm trying to get in some detecting in between the storm fronts, but I've done all the work I can do for the day, so my work is done and I get to play. So I'm over here detecting at this church established in 1843, and I was detecting up over there the other day thinking that was the original building, but just came to find out, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that is actually built in 50s. The pastor told me that the place where the original sanctuary was, the chapel was actually across this paved area over here where their new fellowship hall has been built. So I am over here detecting this property today and hoping that this area behind and out here on the side, you can see they paved over a lot of the front entryway to where the old chapel was right there. So any good finds that were in the front of the building are paved over right now, but I am detecting over here on the sides. And I've just found my second good target here. And the first one was a cloud quarter. Unfortunately, nothing old, but this one here also is ringing up 88 on the Technetics, and I figured I'd do a little bit of a live dig here. So there it is right there. You can see it's copper, it's clad. So it's modern, but it's a quarter at least. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Looks like a state quarter. Can't make it out besides that. Yeah, there's Washington on the front. So anyways, that's another good find. I just found another quarter. Was somewhere over in here, and I just covered it back up. And there are a couple more good targets right over in here, ringing up in the 80s as well. So let me get after it and see what else is in here. Hey guys, sorry I didn't find anything else over at the new fellowship hall where the old chapel was located. I thought I had more targets there, but they didn't turn up any good finds. So finally, I'm moving on to the roundup. So this was a Baptist church that was established in 1843. And the metal detecting video took place in May of this year, 2023. And here are all my good finds and some of the just average finds. So why don't we start out with the quarters up here at the top. Found 5 of them. You can see all the dates. And then all the dimes, you can see those. Found an earring here. This was like the 3rd or 4th day. I did mention something about the gold ring and how when you pull gold out of the ground, when you are detecting, or silver, it doesn't do what this is doing. So this is what we all have experienced if we have done metal detecting for any length of time. You see all the flaking and corrosion on this. It's probably genuine gold plated, but it's just that. It's plated. And it always comes out of the ground like this. It never comes out of the ground like that. Oh, too close, sorry. And so that's normally how you know. I mean, it's not 100% guarantee, and you always want to check for hallmarks and or test your pieces if you really want to be sure with acid testing or whatnot. But anyways, this is a no-brainer right here. But anyways, it's still cool jewelry. Check out this other, what appears to be a tie pin. It's got a clown on it. It's copper. So even though that's nothing really valuable, it is super cool in my estimation. It's still attached with the clasp, and I just dig it. So anyways, I want to show you all that. I don't think I showed that in the video. And now moving on to the nickels. Sorry I'm shaking. I can't zoom in and show you guys the detail from a tripod, so I'm not using a tripod today. Anyway, you can see the dates on the nickels, and this was a first for me. These are no big deal, but this one is a first ever find. You can see it's a 1944 silver war nickel. Let's see if I can turn it and then zoom in on the date. You can probably see it. I'm not able to zoom in anyways. Yeah, you can see the date there. Cool. So let me flip it over and show you the P on the back. This is how I knew it was a silver war nickel when I found it. It's right above the Monticello dome. See if I can get some extra light in there. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Anyways, it came out of the ground with a little bit of shine to it. So I was really stoked to have that. And now I can add that to my collection and the documentation. I dig the toning on this too. It's kind of hard to see with the camera right now, but it's got some cool yellow and blue and green toning on it. So dig it. And I didn't know it, moving on now, but I didn't realize I found another 1941 nickel at the time. I doubt that I can, well, I might be able to get the date in there. Yeah, it should be right in that area somewhere. Anyways, I was pretty jazzed to see that this morning when I went to do the roundup. And so here's the thing though, when digging low tones, you know that when you're finding nickels, nobody else has either detected for the low tones in that area, or, well, yeah, pretty much that's the deal. And so I really appreciated the fact that I found several nickels, because I knew that nobody had dug for gold there or detected for gold. And so for me, I was happy to find the nickels, and I didn't find the silver nickel until about the third or fourth day after I found the gold ring. So anyways, let's move on. Obviously we got some doodads over here, just a brass elbow, broken off key, bunch of zinc here. This is just a cheapo button. It was either zinc or silver plated because it had some toning on the front. This older button here is not all that old. I did some research on it, and this is actually a more modern, fancy button manufacturer. And so I was surprised to see that a company that's modern actually makes fancy buttons, and they're rather expensive too, which I found interesting. But it has some great detail on it, and I really dig it. So I was happy to have that. Here, of course, next to that is my 1864 British Farthing, and I was absolutely stoked to have that too. So there it is, the famous British Farthing. Let us see what it's got on the other side, where I nicked it like a bozo. I nicked it. There's the nick. But anyways, yeah, you can see that's pretty, man. It's got some nice patina on it, and I'm real happy to have that. That's the oldest target of the hunt, and so dig it. Now moving on to the gold ring. Like I said, my world stopped turning when I found this, and it's not like I've never found gold before. Anybody who's been in the hobby for a while has found gold before. But let me flip that over. It's upside down. There we go. It's initialed. You can see some of the initials off to the side right in here. I'm not going to show you all of them for disclosure and privacy's sake. Anybody who, well, I suppose I can. You'd have to come up with a marriage certificate to prove it's yours, and it's really not worth that much. So I don't imagine people are going to fake a marriage certificate just to get this 10K gold ring. It's only about 4 grams. But you can see it's initialed in there. It's got from so-and-so to so-and-so, which is super cool. And then it's actually even got the marital date stamped in there. So if anybody has lost this ring and it looks familiar to them, and they can come up with a marriage certificate and the marital date when they got married, they'd have to guess that part of it. I'd be happy to get it back to them, but otherwise I'm just going to keep it, add it to my collection, and honor the history of this church by displaying it appropriately. So I am super stoked to have that too. All right, so moving on, here we have, look at that awesome hallmark in there, that India hallmark. I'm being facetious, of course. That's aluminum, but it is a ring. And as we all know, rings are super cool to find. All right, so moving on, one more metal button, 3 wheat pennies, got a 44, a 48, and a 34. So I was glad to have those. And you know, when you find the wheat pennies, you know that there's old stuff in there and the potential of good finds is higher. So that does it for the roundup. Thank you for watching the video and hanging in that long with all my promises to get to the roundup. And you know, like the video if you like it, keep swinging. I just want to encourage y'all to get out there. Well, maybe not right now, but as soon as this summer heat breaks and you get a chance to get out there, you know, take a day off, man, and go treasure hunting. And you know, I also want to encourage y'all to document your finds and don't just throw them in a bucket. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you. I don't think anybody with a good head on their shoulders will. But it's just so awesome to be a part of the history and the preservation and the discovery and passing these artifacts on to our kin and teaching them also how to care for and preserve and appreciate them. So that's enough of my lecture for today. Just want to encourage y'all and thank you for watching. And any new subscribers want to jump on board, I'll be happy to have you. And I will be looking forward to doing some new videos as soon as I get another chance. God bless y'all. Thanks for watching. Dan out.